Hello, and welcome to another episode of Snail Mail with Smokey and episode 6 of Stamp versus Stamp. That's right, this is my monthly collaboration with That Dad Guy, where together we challenge each other to bring you philately that is both fun and entertaining. I'm super excited about this episode of Stamp versus Stamp. Don't forget that if you have not done so yet, go check out That Dad Guy's corresponding Stamp versus Stamp video immediately after you watch this one. It's easy to find. We have similar thumbnails. They're both going to look pretty much the same. So after you watch this video, please go watch That Dad Guy's Stamp versus Stamp episode. So the premise for this month's episode is extreme. Here's what Rob and I have challenged each other to do. We have given each other 5 themes and 5 corresponding years. So what that means is that Rob has given me a theme and then a year where I have to find a stamp within that year. But as if that wasn't challenging enough, we've also challenged each other to spin a prize wheel that has each of the letters of the alphabet on it. And whatever letter comes up, we have to find the stamp that corresponds to that theme and that year with a country that begins with the letter of that alphabet. Now, if we spin the same letter twice, we cannot use the same country twice. So, for instance, if I get a U and I use United States and then I get another U, I cannot use United States again. And then for one final component, we've also challenged each other to take those 5 topics and create a story out of them. So this is going to be a really fun episode. It was a really fun collaboration to do with Rob. So let's get right to it. You're going to first see Rob tell me what the topic and the date is. Then you're going to see me spin the prize wheel to give me the letter of the alphabet that I have to choose a country. And then I'll be sharing with you the stamp that I chose for the topic, date, and country. It's going to be a lot of fun. I hope you stay tuned. So let's get into this episode of Stamp versus Stamp.
All right, Smokey, with your first letter selected, I want you to find a stamp from 1982 from that country with a hippopotamus on it.
All right, so here we are at the wheel. So I am going to spin the wheel 5 times, and each time I spin it, whatever letter it lands on, I have to select a country that begins with that letter and find the corresponding stamp in the topic and year that Rob has given me. So the first spin is going to be for hippos is the topic, and the year will be 1982. So here we go, spinning the wheel. And the first country I get is S. Yay! All right, well, right off of the bat, I had a challenge set before me. You might think the letter S is a great letter to get, and it is. Smokey starts with S. Lots of cool things start with S, but not a lot of countries begin with the letter S. So that put me at a deficit. Plus adding the fact that I have to find a stamp that features or has to do with a hippopotamus in the year 1982. So I had to get very, very creative with my selection of this first stamp. So let me tell you what I did. I chose this stamp here. This stamp is from the Soviet Union, so the S is covered from the letter I chose by spinning the wheel. It was issued on February 16th, 1982, which also covers the date requirement. It is Scott number 5018. This stamp measures 40 by 28 millimeters. And you say, yeah, you've got the date right, you've got the letter right, but you don't have the subject right. That is not a hippopotamus. Well, you're correct in the general term when you and I think of hippopotamus. That is not a hippopotamus. But If you go to the etymology of the word hippopotamus, it comes from an ancient Greek word that means river horse. So, like I said, I had to get really creative. And on this stamp, there is a horse. And behind it, I'm going to say that those wavy lines represent a river. So I have given you a river horse, or as it would be said in ancient Greek, a hippopotamus stamp. Let's move on to stamp number 2.
I'm not going to make it super hard this time. So your second challenge is going to be the year 1963 and flowers. Hopefully with the letter you selected, you can find a great looking stamp.
All right, now we are spinning again for the second topic. The topic is flowers, and the year will be 1963. And the country will begin with the letter R. All right, with stamp number 2, I had to find a stamp dealing with the topics of flowers from the year 1963. So this was a relatively easy stamp for me to find. In the end, I chose this stamp here. This stamp was issued by Rwanda, which meets the challenge for the letter R. It was issued on March 21st, 1963, which meets the date challenge. It is Scott number 21. It measures 21 by 25.5 millimeters. It is an overprint stamp. It has a face value of 7 Rwanda francs, and it is from a series of 10 stamps that are flowers that are overprinted. So I chose this one because I liked it. I thought it was one of the most beautiful of the 10 stamps in the series. So as you see there, I have the R for the letter of the country with Rwanda. I have the date 1963, and I have the subject matter flowers on stamps. So this stamp ticks all 3 of those boxes, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I do.
Depending on what letter you got selected for you, your third challenge may or may not be difficult. We're going to go with the year 1921, so it's going to be an early stamp, and it's going to be broad. It's going to be travel. Travel is the topic.
Topic number 3 is travel. The year is 1921, and I will have to select a country that begins with the letter... What's it going to be? What's it going to be? U. Ooh, that one is going to be difficult, but I'm up for the challenge. All right, for stamp number 3, I was challenged with the topic of travel, the year of 1921, and as you just saw on the prize wheel, I spun the letter U. So you might be thinking, wow, U, what a challenge. Yes, a great challenge, but in the end, I chose this stamp from Uruguay. It was issued on June 11th, 1921. It measures 23 by 31 millimeters. It is Scott number 242, and it is an image of flying Mercury. It has a face value of 2 centesmos, and it is a series of definitive stamps called the Mercury Definitive Series 1. So let's see if I met all of the requirements for this challenge. The year, 1921, nailed it. A country that starts with a U, Uruguay, nailed it. The theme, travel. You say, what does this stamp have to do with travel? Well, this stamp is of Mercury, who is flying. Mercury is a famous messenger. He has the wings on his shoes, and if flying around by winged shoes is not a mode of travel, hey, then I don't know what is. But in the end, I thought this was a really nice stamp, and one that I really like. And in fact, the whole series is a really nice looking series of stamps. So I hope you also enjoy this 1921 issue from Uruguay featuring the traveling Flying Mercury.
All right, I wanted to have a little bit of fun with this one. I'm hoping that the letter you selected gives you a wide range of countries to select from, and one you haven't already done, because you can't have any duplicates. So, 1999, find something with a cartoon on it.
All right, here we go. Number 4. The fourth topic is cartoon. The year is 1999, and the country that I will have to select will begin with the letter R again. Next, I was given the topic of cartoons in the year 1999. From the wheel, I spun the letter R, also a respectable letter, unless you're trying to find countries that begin with the letter R. So after a very thorough search, I landed on this stamp here. So let's see if I met the criteria. This stamp was issued from Romania, so I've got the R. It was issued on November 29th, 1999. Nailed the date. It is 27 by 42 millimeters. It is Scott number 4331, and it features Santa Claus. So you might say, did I meet the challenge of a cartoon on stamps? Well, I think I did. Look at the image of this stamp. That is clearly a cartoon-style image of Santa Claus. Also, Santa Claus is an established cartoon character. You can see him in many animated series and films all the way throughout the years. Santa Claus is a prominent feature around Christmas time. So not only is he cartoon in print, not only is he cartoon in movies and television specials, but he's also immortalized here in cartoon form on this stamp from Romania, 1999.
Smokey, I might have been a little cruel with the last one. I hope you didn't get the letter X or Z or something. But you're going to have to go to the year 2013, so a new year. But the topic's going to be difficult. It's going to be hypnosis. Can you find a stamp that has something to do with hypnosis?
All right, one final spin for the fifth and final topic, which is hypnosis. And the year will be 2013, and the letter will be O. All right. For the final stamp, I was given the topic of hypnosis in the year 2013. Way to make it challenging for me, Rob. Hypnosis in itself is a very challenging topic. Not to mention that you just saw I spun the letter O. Do you know how many countries begin with the letter O? Not that many. So we're going to end up exactly where we started, where the stamp I'm going to show you is a artistic interpretation of the topic that I have been given. So first off, I chose this stamp. This was released by the country of Oman, which covers the O category, on October 17th, 2013. It is Scott number 541. It measures 30 by 55 millimeters. Now, this is a beautiful stamp, but let's see if I've met the challenge for the final time. So the wheel told me that I had to pick a country with the letter O. Before you, you see a stamp from the country with Oman. Letter O, check. Rob challenged me to find a stamp in the year 2013. This stamp was released in the year 2013. Check again. And then as far as the theme, I was tasked with finding a stamp that had to do with the theme of hypnosis. So you might say, Smoke, this has nothing to do with hypnosis. You failed the challenge. Well, let's just wait a second. This stamp was issued for National Women's Day in Oman. Now, if you're a guy and you're like me, I have the best wife on the entire planet. And there is not a day that goes by that I am not hypnotized by her intelligence, by her charm, her wit, and her beauty. She is the complete package to me. She is my best friend and my soulmate, and I am blessed to have her in my life. So this stamp that honors women all around the world reminds me of how much that my wife captivates me and hypnotizes me with all of the great qualities that she has. So in my opinion, this stamp definitely hits the mark when it comes to hypnosis. All right, for the last part of the challenge, I was challenged with taking the 5 words that Rob gave me and crafting a unique story. So let's remind ourselves of the topics. They are hippo, flowers, travel, cartoon, and hypnosis. And so now I bring you my story. Today, our story begins just as any good story should, with the words, once upon a time. In a land that has long been forgotten by history and mortal men, lived a young man named Caleb. Caleb was the son of the village tanner. He had been taught the trade by his father from an early age. Caleb's mother was a seamstress. She was known to embroider the most elegant of fabrics with a rainbow of colored flowers. One day, Caleb was walking an old river path when he met a strange man who was sitting at the water's edge. "Come and speak to me, boy," the man said. "I have information of great importance for you." "I don't know you, sir, and I'm sure that you don't know me either." The man, who was dressed in a gray robe tied with a copper belt, replied, "But I do know you, Caleb, all about you, and you know me, or at least you did at one time." "Whatever do you mean, sir?" Caleb responded. "Let's start with the beginning, shall we, son? My name is Darius. I've come from the kingdom that lies over the mountain in order to find you so that together we may travel home." "Home?" Caleb said. "Yes, home, my fine boy. This land is not your home. Your true home lies on the other side of Hippo Mountain, in the kingdom of Plora. When you were a baby, you wanted for nothing. Images of cartoons filled your room, and animals of all shapes and sizes and kinds became your pets. Your parents were fearful that you would rely too much on worldly goods, and that when the time came, you would be unprepared for the sacred duty that was to be placed upon your shoulders. So you were stripped of your title and all knowledge of your former life. It was I who was tasked with bringing you here, where you would be raised by a good and decent family until you reach the age of accountability. The time has come, young one, to awaken, to remember. You were placed under hypnosis, and at the sound of 3 words, you will awake, you will remember, and you will return with me, where you will fulfill your destiny." Darius stood over the young Caleb, placed his hands on Caleb's head, and spoke, "Memoro, Onuk, Fatum." Just then, Caleb's brown eyes turned a light green. As he stood, Darius placed a copper robe on him with a gray sash. Caleb looked down at his robe and then up at Darius. And after a long pause, Caleb whispered, "Hello, old friend." To which Darius replied, "Hello, my king." Well, I hope you all have enjoyed this episode of Snail Mail with Smokey and the 6th installment of Stamp versus Stamp. A huge thank you to my collaborating partner, Rob, aka That Dead Guy. Rob, it is always so much fun to collaborate with you on these videos. It seems like every time I think we can't challenge ourselves anymore, you continually raise the bar. And not only is it very challenging, but it's also so much fun. And I find myself discovering stamps that I've never encountered before, stamps that I'm eager to add to my collection. I also find myself learning more about you and also about history and this great hobby of philately. So thank you once again. And I hope that we can continue these videos for a long time to come. Thank each one of you for watching. I hope that you will go check out that dad guy's video if you haven't done so yet. Give him a like and a subscribe. And also, Rob and I want to give each one of you a way to be a part of these stamp versus stamp videos. So what we've decided to do is we've decided to put episode 7 of Stamp versus Stamp in your hands. That's right, we're going to put it in your hands. So comment either in this video or that dad guy's corresponding video a topic or challenge that you would like to see the two of us tackle in next month's Stamp versus Stamp video. Rob and I will wait for all of the comments to come in, and then he and I will get together and we will go through them, and from them we will make a game plan as far as the challenge is for the next Stamp versus Stamp video. So put your thinking caps on. Don't be afraid to give us a difficult challenge. Neither one of us have ever backed down from one of these challenges, and so we're excited. Make it fun, make it interesting, make it philately. That's the key right there. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment on my channel and that dad guy's channel. And until next time, have a great day. Bye-bye.